So there are a lot of things I'll be showing you. All my presentation, I will use Xmind as my presentation tool. I will not be using the standard PowerPoint, Microsoft PowerPoint tool to explain. I have several sheets here, and the tool I'm using currently is Xmind.works. You can see it on the screen here. If you can see my mouse movement shows you Xmind.works. So it's a very simple app, and you can work in collaboration with me. Just a top view. Mind mapping is a very simple tool. There are some people who will be on this call who it will be your first time of hearing about mind map and what it is about. Mind map is a graphical way of representing an idea, a concept, or matter in a graphical form that is easy to remember, it's intuitive. It helps you see relationship between images that you share, matter. That is what mind map is all about in a very short form. Through several examples, it will become clear, and it will why we teach it to children and why children actually in a very advantageous position to use this tool. Okay, so some quick history. Let me first talk about myself. So this is my own story, very, very short, nothing fanciful. My first contact with was in 2015. I was working for a company called Microsoft, and one of the uses of mind map is taking notes. I will explain those concepts in the course of this discussion, but one of the first ways for taking notes. So all the things you want to say, you'll be able to capture in a very simple way. I'm telling my own story in this mind map that you're looking right in front of your screen. So today, a core professional, I use mind map for several things. I use it for my strategy session because I corporate and business owner. So anytime I'm facilitating a workshop this is my go-to tool that I use for doing my business. I use it for kind of brainstorming session with the clients. I also teach it to clients too. I use this tool as a tool for planning my project, mapping out timeline, and doing what you call stakeholder management. I can mind mapping also too for summarizing a book. So if you can see me in the video section here, this is a very big book, huge book. How many pages it is? This is a 365-page book. I read this book in 6 days, and I did a mind map of the book. Here is the mind map. It has so many branches about this author. This is a very prominent person in Nigeria. He does microfinance. When it comes to microfinance, he wrote his autobiography. I had the opportunity of it, and I was able to read it within 6 days and translate it into a mind map. So there are a lot of things that a mind map can be. But we're not here because we're talking about adults. Today we're talking about children. We're talking about children. So back to the story again. We're talking about children. So it's important for you to understand why this idea is being taught to children. Mind map is fun. It's easy to learn. It's intuitive. The ways are drawn are designed the way we think. We think spatially in a neural network way. When an idea is presented, you don't take it in a bulleted or in a list form. Your mind fires in different. Your imagination goes into an overdrive. As I'm speaking to you right now, your own imagination is being picked. So when children are introduced to mind map, they actually the concept very fast and they run with it once they catch the idea. The reason why they also mind maps is because mind map involves a lot of imagery. This mind map is a very simple mind map. I have not showed you a lot of images for a very sensitive reason to focus on it when I show you the second set of images when I'm talking about children in more details. They also too have this what you call a IKEA effect. Anything that you are truly in love with that thing, there's a sense of pride. So when we teach children how to mind map, they soak it up like a sponge because they take full ownership for it. They can design their mind map as their creativity allows them to go. And because we're in a digital ready age, you can easily create a mind map and share it. You can modify and make corrections. Doing mind map is not only digital, do in manual form, as I will share with you subsequently this presentation. The other thing you should take note of is that people who like to design, architect, anyone who can doodle, of mind maps. Okay, Crystal, I'm going to pause. If there are anything or any questions or any comments, I'll be happy to take. This is just the first part of my presentation. Now, as someone who is very passionate about mind maps, we went a step further to start teaching children about mind maps. I use it to prepare speeches. Even this presentation I'm presenting to you today, I did on the mind map for me to be able to talk through them. And there are so many tools that are available to you in the mind map world. But the one we are very comfortable using is this Xmind. So the Xmind map app, you can download it and put it on your system. I have one on also show you how it looks like during the course of this presentation. But the reason why I like the one that is on the web is that you can collaborate around the world. You can share your map with other people. They can give their input and they can load it. They can make corrections. They can add input, and you can both collaborate together in one place. Okay, so I can go ahead. Okay, fine, excellent. So how do children learn mind map? Why is it so intuitive for them to learn mind maps? Well, very simple. Look at here. When we hear sound, when we see with our sight, when we feel or touch, we get information and we process them. We're in a digital age where video is strong. So when you see video, it sticks in your mind. But the thing that I think is pervasive is right? You see pictures, you see signage, you see symbols, you see signs, you see text. And when we think, right, we process the information in our brain and we think about it. So let us quickly go through this power of image. Look at this. This is a girl. Let me send the picture. This is my map. Just give me 1 minute. This is a girl thinking about, I will expand this so it will be better if you can see. This is a girl planning a party. Immediately planning a party, several ideas are popping up in her head. She can see balloon, she can see gifts, she can see party park, etc. That's how the power is. Once you can see it in your mind, you can create it. Okay. Now, we also create things with images. So let's take out these two pictures. From we were in kindergarten, we were taught that when we want to teach children, we should teach things with it. So when they're teaching alphabet, they say A is for apple. A is for what? Apple. And they show you the picture of an apple. A is for apple. This boy. You want to show children how to identify a boy. B is for boy. So association is one of the ways children have very wild imagination. When we are younger, how am I to really fly? So look at this picture too. I'll stretch so you can laugh a little. This picture, I used AI create this picture. I told AI that AI should create force. You know, when you're doing physics, they teach us that work is force times distance. And the concept of force, and the child was in a class. The child was a picture like this, and the picture. This is how the child of a mind works. But you know, as we grow older, our doing those. But the point to be made here is that in the mind of a child can see a lot of things. Now, let's go to why people in certain industry excel. Sorry. If you check, just give me 1 minute. Sorry. Sorry about that. I thought I put this off. So if you check many successful Disney, the reason why Disney is such a very successful organization is because they create things for children of children, so children can relate. They also very successful. This is SpongeBob. This is SpongeBob. There are a lot of things they do in animations that people can see. So when we do mind maps, we speak to the creative side of children. I don't know if there are any questions so far. Yes, I don't know if there are any questions so far, Crystal. So I can go ahead. Okay, so now let's move forward. I'll show you now. The question then is, if you wanted to talk to a child about mind maps, how should we get the information? Let's look at it. Just a quick one here. This will what I'm about to show you here will help you see how we think as adults and how children think. So let's go. Imagine if you to approach their child and say, "Oh yeah, your birthday is coming. Let us plan." Well, the first thing you will observe when you're looking at this is that we parents see planning when children think about planning. If you're an adult, the first thing you do is that you have a list, like this type of list that I have here. Oh, you need to find a good place. You need to get a cake for the children. You have to have gifts, blah, 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 book an entertainer, etc. That is what is in the mind of an adult. Well, if you're a very finicky and a very organized person, you actually create a checklist. So I saw this checklist online, and I look at it. It's very, very detailed. We write down all the things we need to do so we can walk through this checklist of an adult. Well, let me show you the mind of a child. Tell your child that you should plan a party. Your child goes to overdrive. Your child starts to see things. So if you look at what your child will be doing here, just give me 1 minute. So let me minimize this. That's easy for all of us to see. This is a girl. The minute you say party, man, the girl is ready to party. She already sees the end. She's not worried. Her mind, and one thing we need to know is that children interpret information in images. Children read things as images. When you speak to children, it's not all things you say that they hear. 9 out of 10, they've created an image of what it is. When you say, let's plan a party, within a few seconds, all the neurons and your child is thinking about a party. So to your child, this is how they see the party. It's fun time. They can see their friends having a great time, cake and everything. But some kids may not be as enthusiastic about what it is you say because your of your child may be different. So here is another picture I've shown here where a child is bored. They've told him about it, but he's not excited about it. But imagine if you told the party that, oh, what do you want out of a party? A child can sit down, create a party, and it is totally different from what the adult is seeing here. Remember the example I showed above here? So it is totally different. So children see in images. That is the point I'm trying to drive home here. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. So I've already explained the concept about what children and how they associate things together. So one of the reasons why children are mapping faster than adults is because the things you talk to children about, they are intuitive. Children like imagery, children like symbols, coloring, children like arts, children like fun. As adults, some of us have forgotten what it means to have fun. But when we teach mind map to children, these are one of the ways in which we communicate our information. Next thing I wanted to share with you is how to teach a mind map to children. Yes, how do we teach mind map to children? Well, this is how to children. First thing is that we start very small. Don't pressure your child. On the average, we start teaching children about mind map from the age of 7. My son started it at the age of 10. Today, my son teaches other how to mind map. I'll probably show you a few images, and I'll share with you after we finish that Xmind published about what my son is doing, mind mapping. But the advice to parents, educators is that start small. Once they catch it, they can use the tool to do several things: for studying, for taking notes, for planning, for speech, right? Because image is they say a picture is stronger than 1,000 words messaging around mind mapping, because those imageries, you choose the image that makes meaning to you if you were studying, and you will be able to recall them very well. I will still talk about the benefits of this mind mapping to a child's creativity. But the first thing I wanted to explain here is that when you are teaching mind map, you should start small. Don't start where you are. There are a lot of countries where not everybody can afford computers to the internet. Mind mapping can still be taught to children, because mind mapping can also be drawn in a manual form where you can sketch an item. And the concept is always very simple, is that in the concept of mind mapping, you have a central topic. In this, I'm teaching you how to teach mind mapping. I can even put it in full: mind mapping to children. So that's the central topic. And you always have branches. This sub-branch, what it is you are trying to teach the children. When you are talking to children, tell them to think about images. And we're going to do one live example in today's program. You also ask them simple things like, when you are thinking about the idea, what is it like? What is it like is a concept that anytime you're talking to somebody, whenever you bring a new idea to a child or even to an adult, the first thing their brain asks themselves is that, have I heard of this before? What can I do? What is this similar to? So it's important as a teacher, you always ask it like. Don't worry, once I show you the next example, this concept of what is it like? Or you can use the word like, what comes to your mind whenever you think of this subject? You must also reinforce the fact that mind mapping is unique to every. No two mind maps that can be the same, because the way we see the world is different. Even though we may be talking about the same subject, even if you are mind mapping a book, if two of us read this book or my own book, because I'm also an author, the way you will receive, you perceive it will be different. So that's the idea, and that we need to keep re-emphasizing that they're special and that they're different, and that there's something good about them being different. They form. Anytime we are doing mind mapping, we also use words like "tell me more." And in the next slide presentation that I'll show to you, when we want to introduce to children, we must start with very simple and fun topics. We should not get to force children to learn how to use mind mapping to write a speech, to take a note. No. Start from fun things like planning a vacation, writing about their favorite comic, writing about themselves, about their friend, about their pets. These are very fun topics that children can relate to. Okay, great. Let's move forward. The other thing is that always try to keep us on the central topic. So like this mind mapping that I'm explaining to you now about how to teach children how to mind map, I need to keep re-emphasizing and taking a words back that I'm just teaching you mind map or how to introduce mind map to children. So focus on the central idea and always ask them when they're talking about the topic, what comes to your mind? because that way you are tapping into the creativity of the child. You are making the child think out of the reason and allow their mind to soar, to run free. You also teach them to collaborate, work with other people, either drawing a mind map together when you're using a digital mind, Xmind.works or Xmind.app, which is the app on the system. When you're working, it energizes and reinvigorates and opens their mind to a world of possibility. So let us go to a very simple example that will drive home this concept that I'm explaining. So we're going to plan a party. Let me see. Have we done the party? Yes, we planned a party. Give me a minute. Let's go to Disney World. Yep. Think about it now. We want to go to Disney World. Imagine, I don't know if you're at Disney World. If you have been to Disney World, it's a great experience. I've been there with my and some friends in Florida. Very, very good experience. I mean, for a short period of time and a few days that we were there, we were like children. Water slides, we did soaring, we went to Epcot, Animal Kingdom, Magic World. You see all those Disney characters. Ask your child to write about their experience, They have pictures. They can put the pictures of what it is they've done. Those long queues. If you don't have the fast track wristband, right? A lot of food and drinks. There's great entertainment. There are hotels, depending on how much. We stayed in a rented apartment instead of but the experiences are different. So you can talk about the friends that they went to, friends that they met, and got to Florida. So the idea is wide, and no two the same. Look at this kid here, and look at this teenager here. The way they see the Disney experience will be totally different. This is why we talk about help children and their creativity. Let us move to the next item. So, from when we were children, if we're asked to pull items, just give me a minute, to do something simple, it differently. Imagine if we're being asked to think about an hour. You are with children from age 7, even as adults, sit right now of Apple. The old ways of thinking about Apple is that and write the things that come to your mind. The old way of doing things is that you get a sheet and you start jotting down all the things that comes to your mind about Apple. But if you were with children, think of an apple. Several things come to play. Let's quickly look at them. Depending on the age of the child, very familiar. If the child is like age 10, or where the parents allow the child to have a phone, they probably know about an iPhone. So these are Pro Max. If the child is in a particular level, they think of apple, green, red apple. Some of them, their mind could go far as say, I. Some could think about a farm. If you saw them say apple juice, you see, tell me more. So the more you push a child, you challenge a child to think out of the box, they will tell you more things. So if they are building their mind map, when it's small, they will draw on their creativity and they will bring out new things. So this is one of the ways of child to know about mind maps. I'll soon be wrapping up. We've done how to teach mind map. We've done how to plan a party. We've told a story. Now, let's look at the benefits. Why do we spend this amount of energy and time teaching children about mind maps? All the give here, by the way, do not only apply to children, but also apply to adults. So if you are thinking about embarking on a journey of starting to use mind maps, I've articulated here, and much more. But it also applies to children as well. So the first thing is that mind mapping improves the brainstorming of your child. Like we did when we were brainstorming about the issue of the apple. What are the things when you think of an apple pie? You think of an apple as a fruit. You think of it as medicinal, like, the popular, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So the more you ask the children, tell what is it like when you think of apple? Yes, apple is like oranges. Yeah, so it's a fruit. It's found in a farm. So that way, when you are brainstorming with a child, when you are mind mapping, it helps your skills and your ability to think through. It helps you generate new ideas. It enhances your problem solving ability. These are skills that are well sorted after in any organization. We need it in our personal life, in our professional life. It also, the visualization, the imagery forces you, right, in a way to easily. Because those visual representation is a way of, it's like a signal or a trigger to remember what it is that is being taught. It makes a child organized, because when you look at my map, you have ideas together where they belong together. So association, organization, puts things together, easy for you to remember. It also structures your thoughts. This is one of the skills that I love a lot, which is why when I want to plan an event, I always, my go-to tool is mind mapping, because I can plan, I can think, and I can see all the possibilities. It also stimulates your imagination, critical thinking, because when you are mind mapping, it forces you to see ideas, possibilities. It also promotes communication. It promotes active learning. It develops your analytical skills, because you can break down complex things. This, by the way, is one of the #1 benefits of mind mapping. Ability to capture an idea, a set of ideas, all on one page, to summarize the idea. So I go back to this book, 365 pages, all just on what? One page. I still see my my screen. If not, join back again as I did before. Hello, Crystal. Okay, anybody in the group that you can still hear me and you can still see me? Hello? Should I continue? Okay, I'm waiting for Crystal. Yes, please continue. All right, so what I'm just saying is that me summarizing a what do you call it? A 365 page book. That is one of the benefits of mapping, because you can summarize complex things, whether it's a medical subject you're discussing, whether it is public speaking. You can break down any topic format that is easy for somebody to understand. You can capture all on one page. Lastly, it also encourages people to work collaboratively, where working alone doesn't cut it. We're also in an AI world. With the introduction of AI, you will notice that some of the images here that I'm sharing here, they were all generated, but what I needed to do was to give AI a certain set of prompts, and it can generate those ideas. Let me talk about the last item. Let's see. Give me one. Okay, so let's go back here where we started from the first time. So what to take you through how to mind map, how to teach children mind mapping. I've showed you the benefits. I want to close by saying that several years ago, when we started this assignment, we tried to make sure that we found children that really were interested, or parents that were really interested in teaching their children this skill. The good thing about mind mapping is that you can learn mind mapping at any stage of your life. You're never too old, never too young to learn mind mapping. We have been teaching mind mapping vast set of children, whether it is low income, children that are going to private schools, mind mapping is very easy concept. You can teach it both in manual and in digital format. We've taught over 100 plus children, teaching this concept of why it's important for them to understand how to use a tool like Xmind also too has a new tool called Xmind that can also help you automatically generate mind maps just by just giving a prompt. You know, we're in the age of ChatGPT and the world of AI. And because we're also AI, children now can actually create special type of images, a combination of, and because their mind is creative, ChatGPT and Adobe Fireflies are there to help their image that they will use for their mind map. We all have all types of experiences, but eventually our experiences are unique to us. It helps our creativity to make us better in our place of work and in our personal life. So this is how I like to close today on this subject. I think we're at the 41 minutes, so it means that the next 15 minutes will be used to ask questions to answer them. You can actually present this in a, let me choose one of the topics that you would like the way it will come out. Let's see. Okay, let's use this concept. Let's start here. That's just in the screen. You will see it. So let's say, so I wanted to show you, if you can see the screen, you see this is, you can do it like in a PowerPoint format. So if I was talking to you, the same presentation I just did to you, I'm using Xmind as a presentation tool to explain the concept of how to teach children, how to teach children how to mind map, explain the science behind mind mapping. Yes. Okay, fine. Okay, so the science is very simple. The way our brain is designed, our brain, if you Google the picture of the brain, it says that you have neural networks. The founding father for mind map is called Sir Anthony. He's late now. He's a British guy, a thought leader, someone that's very passionate about education. Talked about how it works. That every time an idea comes into the mind, into the brain, that the cells in the brain fires, and it shows you different neural paths in which you think about it. That is how you also recall information when you are told something. When someone tells you something or you see an image, your brain goes into an archive and look for things that are associated with that image. If there was a smell, your olfactory senses will also connect the smell of that place you were in the last time to tell you. It's the same way mind map works. That when you see an idea, your mind automatically kicks. There is a set of images that kicks off in your brain that fires. We do not think this way we write or the way we list ideas. Ways of the way the school system teaches us how to think is that when they tell you something, the brain goes 1 step, 2 step, 3 step in a logical sequence. When it comes to thinking, now our thinking is partial. It goes in a not just viral, but it goes in the sparse way. Once an idea comes to your mind goes in several directions. To explain this, I don't want to bore too many people with technicalities, but if you want me to provide links to showing you how the brain and mind mapping works and how I'll put them in the mind maps that eventually you will see. Yes, next question, Crystal. So the screen is just the same mind map I showed earlier, but just in a presentation format, like explaining the concept to you and how you should reinforce certain ideas, trying to get the children that they should think in images, because that's how children say is like what whenever you are thinking about the subject. Yes. You tell them about their uniqueness, that it's good to be unique and that they're different. So that's one of the ways we encourage children. Instead of teaching mind map, our children are very that kind of thinking. It will help them become a better person, and they will to get the ideas running with it. Yes. So I'm still waiting for the question. So that's it. The good thing about it is that you can also show this. You can see this is my map. This is the presentation format you are seeing on the left hand side. So this is where we are witness. That's why this is highlighted here. So if I change it here, you can see it's this. So that's it. So maybe I should stop presenting. If there any question, I'll bring up the mind maps again. Correct. So if you guys can see me, I'm back. But this is how, to answer your question, this is how I organize my thoughts using mind map. I have mind mapped how I organize my thoughts. That's what I've just done right now. So if there are still more questions, I'm here. But what I've just done is, then if I were doing a mind map and I wanted to remember what it is, I can also to go on the outputs. Hold on. I can now reorganize the outputs. Yes, Crystal. Is there a new message? Okay. Hello, Crystal. Please confirm that or anyone can hear what I'm saying. That know that we've addressed everybody's concerns. Okay. You said yes. Okay, fine. Great. So that if there are any other question, please put your question. At least I found out where the question section is. By the way, this is a very nice streaming tool or collaborative tool. I look forward to using it again next time. It's very simple. So when you hold a webinar, it's very structured. You can see the questions, you can see the image of whatever. I love it. All right. Okay, so Krista says it's clear. You can hear me. Okay. By the way, your mind map doesn't have to be boring. At your disposal to help you get the work done. We're in the age of AI, so if you need pictures, you want to create an image, to ask for help, they are all there for you. They are all there for you. Okay, I think we have 1 minute left. So let me quickly do something. Let me do something. If I want to capture an image. So that I was talking about, the question was how you organize my thoughts. So I said you should ask for help. So let me ask. Ask for help. So this is Leonardo.ai. Let me read and see what it creates before we go. So I will use this AI that I can download that image and use that image in my mind map. So here's an image. So this maybe I love this image and I wanted to maybe this is my own image. Remember that asking for help shows up in different ways. There are different ways of representing. But let us say this is what I want. I will go ahead and image, and then that's it. And I'll add it to my mind map. So I can come here. I can add the image. So, so you know what's happening? Yeah. There we go. So that's it. And if I want to, so the good thing about mind mapping is that you can add um, hyperlinks, you can add a file, you can add a link to a video, you can add images so that whoever you're sharing your mind map with, they can the mind map can really speak to the subject of what it is that you want to do. Crystal is one. So let me know. Um, there are still more questions. Okay, great. I think we've come to the end of the webinar. I've answered the question. I answered the last person's question where I organized my thought. That was the question with mind map, and I created a mind map as you can see on the screen there. I did it live, telling you what steps I use for creating a mind map. I can number them. Remember when you were reading the mind map, we read them clockwise, starting from the top down. So it will be from our right to the, that's what clockwise means. So this one, for example, if I were to, so let me just do this. Yes. So I number this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5, this is 6.